Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Only one day to go before the Kitchener-Waterloo Bonsai Society's fall show, which is on Saturday. I was hoping to get this tree all show ready at last night's meeting. I did a presentation on getting trees ready for shows and what to do and tips and tricks. But I ran out of time. I didn't get to work on the tree at all, so I'll have to get it show ready today. Yesterday I was working away at my Serissa and I ran out of time. I didn't get the upper canopy finished, so I'll have to do that today also. Also today I need to get my Portulacaria afroforest pruned up and ready for the show too. I think those trees will keep me plenty busy today, but if I do get time, I'll prune up my Chinese village Penjing also. My original plan was to take the old truck to the show to load up all the trees in the back and the back seat of the truck, so it'd have lots of room for lots of trees. However, the weather now is supposed to be freezing in the morning. There's no heat in the back of the truck in the bed section here with the capper, so I would have to put all the tropicals in the front, which I could fit a few in but not all of them, so that's a problem. Originally last night it said it was going to go to 2 degrees below freezing, which isn't good. It could possibly kill the trees in the back of the truck here, so I'm going to have to change my plans. I cannot take the truck tomorrow morning because it's still going to be very, very cold in the morning. So I'll have to load up the matrix, which has heat in it, and just fit as many trees as I can in. So maybe it's good because I'm running out of time to get trees ready today. So I'll have the 4 trees I took to the Toronto show. I've got my larch forest cleaned up, and maybe I'll have to leave the Avatar Grove, the Eastern White Cedar Forest, for another show, and maybe just bring some of my other smaller trees. I think I'll have to wait until I show my Avatar Grove. There's a lot of changes I want to make to this planting anyway. I want to straighten out a lot of trees. I want to add another tree out front here. So yeah, I'll do all those changes in spring, and then maybe a spring show, or maybe in fall again. So it's unlikely these trees will die. They're very tough trees, so there's no rush to get them to a show. And I already have the large forest, which, yeah, probably one big forest is enough. I am back to work on my Serissa, just finishing up all the detail pruning, separating all my branches into pads. So this branch that I said was a little weak, it isn't in the best position, but I think in future it could definitely come off. If I removed it now, you'd see this big kind of hole in the canopy. So I've got to leave it for now, but definitely in the future that can come off and then grow these out to fill that space up. Because the branch kind of grows, it originates from a strange place and then kind of grows in between 2 other branches, kind of on top of them, and then goes down beneath them. So it's not a very well placed branch, so that's eventually got to come off. So maybe, after the show I'll remove it and then start developing these out. But it'll stay on for now, for sure. I'm getting rid of all, when I did the blue scissor hedge pruning, I have a lot of, little stubs sticking up from where the branches were pruned. So I'm just trimming them off back to a leaf node so they're not so noticeable. It doesn't look like a porcupine with all these dead branch ends sticking up. After a period of time, probably 45 minutes, I'm still working away, but you can see some of the separation now. It's looking more miniature. Definitely getting, a little sparser in the canopy so you can see through it, which is good. You don't want it, dense like this, like topiary. You want to see that branch structure when viewed from above a bit. So yeah, it's a judgment call how thin you make the canopy. I mean, it's going to grow in again, but you kind of want to balance between, you know, a good full looking canopy and one where you can see definition and branches. So yeah, it's a tough call. You just keep pruning away until I guess it looks just right. I'm also trying to achieve some asymmetry, so I don't want, you know, the right hand side here looking exactly like the left hand side. So I'm kind of varying my pads of foliage to kind of, yeah, look natural if I can. Yeah, it's very subtle is the word, but I think it's making progress. It's on the right track anyway. I am fairly happy with the front view of the tree. I think it's looking pretty good. So I'm working, I've rotated it around now so you can see from the side view I'm a little heavy here. I could use a little thinning out, and I've got to get some branch separation at the back. So I'm also working on this understory curve at the back. It helps when you're in the front view to see right through. So it defines that under curve so you can see right through the tree. You don't want branches interfering at the back with that negative space in here. So yeah, so I'm working on, you know, clearing out some of these lower branches to get that curve underneath the canopy, and I'll be working on the upper part too to get some separation, more light kind of down through the canopy to kind of match the front. I have finished pruning up the canopy. It took quite a long time, but I find, you know, the more you open it up, the more you see the structure, and then you can make better and better pruning decisions. So I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, there's more to refine in the future, but definitely has, you know, the Pierneef style. You can see from above the canopy is kind of opened up, so it's kind of a equal density all the way around. You can kind of see into the tree now, which is nice. So let's clean up and have a final look at it. The sun is coming out, so the chickens are venturing out, the new little baby chicks. So let's go have a look at them. These are silky babies. How old are they, Laura?
I think they're a month.
About a month old. Very cute. Hello, girls. That's the silky rooster. I don't think I can get any closer. They'll probably run away, but let's see what we can do here.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah. A little protective of their babies, which is good. Yeah, they're a little alarmed that I got too close to them. So they're leaving. Bye-bye. There's the ducks over here. Hi, guys and girls. I've got the soil surface all cleaned up, and I'm looking at my moss, and I'm not liking it. The problem is that it looks too ball-like. It would look better, you know, smaller tufts, more upright. So instead of being rounded, if I pick away the moss and just leave sort of the center section of it, I think it would look better, look more like grasses, or yeah, it looks, I don't know, it's a little lush looking, I think. I don't mind the little tufts of moss growing out front here. I think that looks good, but I think, you know, there's moss behind the rock here. I think that's maybe too much. I'm not even really liking that ball in the middle there anymore. This one looks like, I don't know, flattened or something. It looks kind of strange. And this one just looks like it fell from the sky and landed here. So I think, you know, I've got the tree all cleaned up. I think it's time to get the landscape looking better. I think my major concern when I look at it is there's just too much going on. I've got the tree, and I got clumps of moss and rocks and zebras, and there's just too much happening. And you know, it's kind of nice to study the details, but I think it's just too much. There's just too many. Your eye just goes everywhere. So I think I've got to simplify it. I'm going to take away the moss and then add it back sparingly. So here I go. I'll take away this clump. This one. This one. And you know, maybe because I have the clumps of moss forming, maybe I don't need the big ones anymore. A lot of Serissa roots growing into that moss clump there. And I'm thinking the rocks, I don't think I need this one that close to the tree. I think I can move that over. And a lot of people ask me about these rocks. You know, they don't look planted. They look like someone just took a rock and placed it on top of the soil surface. That's what a lot of rocks look like in some of the African landscape pictures. It just looks like someone tossed a bunch of giant rocks on top of the land. I'm looking at the landscape from the front now, and I think it looks better. It looks more desolate. Yeah, I think, you know, the rocks kind of tone with the tree nicely. It balances the offset tree in the pot. I think that's much stronger. I like that. I'm wondering, my soil surface is quite dark. I'm wondering if I need to lighten it up a bit. Maybe some variation is what I'm thinking. I'm trying to decide what to do with the landscape, so I think I better go inside, look at my reference photos, and maybe I'll get some ideas for some subtle variation in the landscape. I looked through my reference photos, and the red color here is too dark. Where you see the red sand and soil in some of the pictures, it's more of an iron oxide color, a bit of a brighter orangey red. And a lot of this has kind of gone dark. So I think now a lot of photos has, you know, tan soil. It's not all red colored. So I think I need to mix some white sand in with the red sand and see what that looks like, and maybe just make some patches so there's a little variation in the color. I think that would look better. Maybe, you know, the darker sand underneath the tree to kind of highlight the roots, and then maybe lighter surrounding it. I've got approximately equal quantities of the red sifted turfus, the athletic turfus, and white sand. So I'll mix it together. And if this is too light a color, well, maybe I can use like the playground sand instead of the white sand. Or change my quantities so I have more turfus and less white sand. So my initial feeling is it's too... it's not the right color, is what I'm saying. It's, yeah, it doesn't look right. Not at all. Maybe playground sand would look better. I'll try that. I'm going to try mixing the white sand with the red with the playground sand and see what it looks like. Maybe I don't need the white sand in there. Maybe it's just too much. I don't know. But, you know, when this is wet, it goes dark. That's the trouble. You know, it's fine So maybe, you know, I do need some white sand in there, so when it is wet it looks a little lighter. Now, what's that looking like? It looks okay. It's hopefully, you know, the mixture of the three, it'll still tone with what's there. I'll try it and see how it looks. You know, if it doesn't look good, I can always scrape it away and try a different mixture. I'll try it in the corner here for starters. And again, I won't know what it looks like until I wet it. All right, here I go with the watering. Well, that definitely gives some tonal variation. I kind of actually like that it's not all just one color. I wish I could get like a really orangey red color, but I can't think of anything that would do that. I can try some of that red sand I have from the hobby store. I'll try that. All right, I've got the hobby store sand, so I'll just add some, again, sprinkles for variation in ground texture and color. Tones quite nicely, but what will it look like when it's wet? So let's wet it down once again. All right, well, again, it looks better. There's some variation in color on the surface. Well, I think that'll have to do. I'm going to try it out on the stand now. That reddish colored walnut stand, the one I had in the Toronto show, and just see how it looks. And that might be it for today if it's looking okay. Before I have a look at it on the reddish colored walnut stand, I thought I'd try it on the stand that Matt fixed up for me, the one I stained with the roofing tar. See what it looks like. If it doesn't look any good, then I'll put it on the red stand. Here is a look at it on the dark colored stand. It looks quite nice. Yeah, it's not too bad with it. It's a fairly good match, I think. I'm going to try, like the stand is a little big for the tree. I'm going to try offsetting it and adding the accent plant on top of the stand. See what it looks like. There's a look at that arrangement. I don't like it at all. It just, yeah, it doesn't work like that. Okay, I'm going to get out the walnut stand, compare the two, see which one I like better. Here's a look at the tree on the walnut stand, and definitely the colors are way better. Yeah, it suits it much better. Yeah, I could try a few other stands. Matt's made some new ones since I last showed this tree, so maybe some of the other ones will look good. I don't know. I can try it out. Here's a look at the tree on the other stand that I kind of stained dark with the roofing tar. It's a good size for the tree. I think not the right style. It's too high off the ground. The tree looks like it's floating in midair. I don't think it's right. I'm going to try that homemade stand I made, see what that looks like. Here is a look on the homemade stand made out of spruce. Surprisingly, it looks quite good on here. I think it's hard to see because the sun's shining right in my eyes, but it's not the right size stand, but I think it has the right feeling that it's low to the ground. It's kind of solid looking. I think it's not a bad proportion with the pot. There's something I like about it anyway. Simple. It really makes the pot stand out. The stand is just there to kind of support it. It's got a good look to it. It's not bad. I could put it on this for the show. Here's a look at the tree on the bamboo stand. It's not bad. I don't think color-wise it does anything for it. And I think, you know, it's just takes your eye away from the pot and the tree. I think a simple stand under here is the best thing. Here's a final look at the tree before the show. It's kind of lit up by the reflection off the greenhouse. Yeah, I think it's looking quite nice. Is it perfect? No. But it's something I can work on. I can work on that soil in the future. The stand, maybe the placement of the tree in the pot can change. There's a lot of variables still to explore with this tree before it's, you know, looking perfect for a show. And, you know, the tree still needs development too. It's got a long way to go. I'm running out of time for my show prep, so I'm going to pick out one more tree and hopefully I can fit it in the car. I'm not sure if I can. So let's go into the greenhouse here. And I was thinking I have a choice of two possibilities. My Chinese village Penjing, which would look good at the show, I think. Even the way it is, it would look good. The trees are looking really nice. You can't see it because it's fogging up, but and the other possibility is my Portulacaria afroforest down here, but that needs a lot of pruning, and I'd like to do that on a video, sort of a detailed pruning. So I don't want to rush it today. So I'm thinking the Chinese village Penjing. I'll fix that up, and that'll be my last tree for the show. I just can't get any others done, and I don't want to rush it.